Raider Nation, what's going on? You guys are watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here on today's show, I got the latest Raiders news and rumors. We're going to talk about two players that were released today from the team. We're also going to be going into some stories, some news around DeSean Jackson and the likelihood of him coming to Las Vegas. And at the very end, we're going to give you the latest going on around the Henry Ruggs situation. First, though, we're going to kick this thing off with Nathan Peterman. He has been released by the Raiders, but it does sound like that this team is going to try to bring him back to at least put him on the practice squad because they love what he's able to do. They love that he's a veteran guy, that he knows the system and can obviously help out during the practice time. He was definitely a Gruden dude, and it was always a story where how can this dude still be on the team when there's other quarterbacks in the NFL that might be better? He just was a good fit. Now, when the Raiders decided to bring him in, they did give him a 1 year, $1 million contract, and it was fully guaranteed. I do think that that could be a little bit of a reason why also he's going to be probably coming back here to the practice squad. So as it stands right now, going into Week 9 up against the New York Giants, the only two quarterbacks that are going to be on the roster, Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota. No really surprise here with DC. The bigger story is I really think with the move here of Peterman, it speaks volumes of confidence to Mariota and his overall health with this team. I mean, he's only got 2 carries this season. He's got 35 yards. We were talking about doing some potential different packages to see him on the field, especially in the red zone. I do think that the Raiders are more confident that he's healthy. Another player that was released today by the Raiders, and I put out a tweet on this earlier in the week, and it was kind of a weird story from top to bottom. There was a source out there that said that the Raiders are probably going to end up moving on from Javin White. Just like Peterman, the plan is to realistically bring back White. Now, the issue is White could potentially get signed by another team. He could potentially get claimed. Like, there's just a lot of different avenues here. He's a talented player out of UNLV. I really know that the Raiders want to try to bring him back. But with these two moves here, the Raiders, they didn't go out and make any moves at the NFL trade deadline, which, not that I'm totally surprised. I really thought the most likely player that was going to get dealt was Cleveland Ferrell. There was also reports out there that the Raiders did call the Eagles about Fletcher Cox, but the contract was a little bit too high. So the Raiders have 51 dudes on the roster right now, and I really do think that this is going to be a team that ends up making a move tomorrow. So it'll be something that we'll talk about if they do. So what I want you guys to do right now is name a player that the Raiders should go out and sign. Maybe it's DeSean Jackson. Oh, wait, you got to wait to claim him. Maybe it's another dude out there. Please go down to the comment section right now and let me know. I'm not going to give you a player, but I am going to say that it does sound like this team, according to Vic Tafur, is going to make a move tomorrow on Wednesday, November 3rd. And as soon as they make a move, just like we did today for the breaking news around Henry Ruggs, just like I'm doing right now with Nathan Peterman, Javin White, and the latest on DeSean Jackson, you're not going to find another YouTube channel out there that keeps you more up to date than what we do here at the Raiders Report. So if you bleed silver and black, if you're just looking for the latest, we got you covered. Go ahead, hit that big red button that says subscribe. So right now, one of the top stories out there is around DeSean Jackson, and there were multiple teams, according to, a lot of people will say credible sources on Twitter, that called the Rams and said, hey, what's the asking price for Jackson? And one of the biggest reasons why he wasn't dealt is because teams knew that ultimately these two sides would split up. Jackson went on Instagram. He was basically like, thanks to the Rams, but I'm going to be moving on here. Now, he's going to hit the waiver wire, and he's going to hit the waiver wire on Wednesday. So what exactly does that mean? Basically, if anybody out there plays fantasy football, just like if you would put in a waiver claim, it's going to happen the exact same way here for Jackson. So the fact that the Raiders are 5-2, the fact that they're a little bit lower down on this list, I would say their chances of getting Jackson are not very high, but there is still ultimately a chance. Now, we'll get into what the Raiders depth chart looks like and whether or not I think the Raiders should actually go out and put in a claim for Jackson. Before I do, I want to try to cheer some people up today because today was an emotionally draining day. Now, if anybody out there wants to go ahead and bet on the Raiders in Week 9, if you want to go out there and bet on the World Series, NBA, or you want to bet on the Raiders the rest of the season, we got the best deal on the internet right now. Go to chatsports.com/Raiders. I'm going to say it again because if you don't go to chatsports.com/Raiders and if you don't use promo code Raiders125, you're not going to get a free Raiders jersey. Yes, I said free Raiders jersey. So if you're a first-time user, right, and you first get started with BetUS and you use the promo code and you put down at least $100, you're going to get $125 for free, and I'm going to hook you up with a free jersey. Now, the 4 jerseys that I got, the Derek Carr one that I have on, also you can get the black or white jersey for Carr, Darren Waller, Max Crosby, Josh Jacobs. Those are the ones that I got. Now, if you're like, oh, I already have all 4 of those, can you hook me up? Maybe. I'll try to see if my bosses will let me, because this deal has nothing to do with BetUS. It has all the kindness here from the Raiders Report from Chat Sports. One more time, chatsports.com/Raiders, promo code Raiders125. Once you do all those steps, then email us at jersey@chatsports.com, and we'll get you your size, we'll get the address, and we'll ship you one out to you. So here's what the Raiders wide receiver depth chart looks like right now, because we still do not know the status of Henry Ruggs. You have 3 guys on your roster. That's it. You have Bryan Edwards. He's going to be your new wide receiver 1. Zay Jones is going to be the wide receiver 2. And then in the slot is 3rd and Renfrow. Now, some other players that could potentially be brought up from the practice squad. You have 3 receivers, which is DJ Turner. I know the Raiders really like Turner's receiving ability in terms of short yardage. They also like what he brings to a special team side of it, and especially Bisaccia worked a lot with Turner, and this is one of those good UDFAs out of Pittsburgh. Dylan Stoner, he's probably the best route runner and overall receiver that you see on this list. And then the last guy is Javon Wims. If it was up to me, I would actually promote both Stoner and both DJ Turner, unless the Raiders decide to go out and sign a potential free agent receiver. The best free agent receiver out there, personally, if we're being realistic with ourselves, is probably John Brown. You bring John Brown back, a dude that you signed this offseason, but if all that doesn't work, I think your other option is, hey, maybe we try to put in a claim for DeSean Jackson. So what do you guys think about this? Should the Raiders put in a claim for D-Jax? I want you to type C for claim, or let me know, type P for pass. If you're like, you know, man, he's old, he's washed up, it's all good. C for claim, P for pass. Of course, I'm going to say type a C for claim. The Raiders need receivers, and a lot of people are like, oh, Mitch, you said last week that the Raiders shouldn't trade for him. You're right. The Raiders shouldn't have traded for him. But now he's a lot cheaper, right? You don't have to give up any draft capital. You don't have to give up any players to go out and get somebody. And Jackson's never going to be what he was. And when I think of D-Jax, I think of the great Eagles receiver that was an absolute burner. Well, Henry Ruggs had a lot of speed, and you're trying to replace some speed, and Jackson is not Ruggs, and trying to replace him is not going to be an easy thing to do. But if you are trying to find a vertical threat, and Jackson still has some speed, I believe he's got 8 catches this year. It's like 220 yards, a touchdown, along a 70. You know that he has that deep burst. So go out, put in a claim for him, and if you get him, it's going to be a great addition here for the Silver and Black. Now, if you guys haven't already, please go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram, and I want you to go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter as well. And here's the reason. My pinned tweet right now on Twitter is where you guys can go ahead and vote on what's going to be the next Chucky head. We're doing a poll. It's going to be up there for 7 days, and the way that the poll is going to go is 25% Twitter, 25% YouTube, 25% Instagram, and then 25% voting here of the Chat Sports staff. So go ahead, get your votes in. What are we going to do instead of the Chucky heads? My personal favorite, if I'm being honest with you, I like the Death Raiders. I like the Darth Raiders, and I like the Just Win Baby. So if you want to make me happy, those would be my top 2 choices. Also Al Torches, but it gets a little bit tricky with some of those other ones. But hey, please go ahead, vote. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, it's all there. Now, if you live underneath a rock, you don't know what happened today with Henry Ruggs, the Raiders' number 12 overall pick in the 2020 draft. I went live here on the Raiders Report, and we were live for probably, Jeremy, like hour and a half. It felt like 2 hours. I mean, it was a long, long day. I am emotionally drained. And Ruggs was in a car crash Tuesday morning. It appeared to happen at around 3:40 a.m. The police report has confirmed at least one person is dead. The Metro Police is going to charge Henry Ruggs with DUI resulting in death. Now, if any more news comes out about this, if any more information, I'm going to do my absolute best to be able to report it. And today was a very sad and gloomy day, I think, around the Raiders. But please, before I go, download the Uber app, download the Lyft app. There's no sense in this world to be drinking and driving. If you plan on going to Vegas, have a good time. It's an amazing city, but just be responsible, be an adult, and just try to make good decisions. I don't think Henry Ruggs is a bad person, but he made a really bad mistake. In fact, he made 3 bad mistakes, which led to an even worse situation. Now, I'm going to keep you guys up to date. News, rumors. We're going to have videos the entire week. I know I didn't go live today. It's because of all the craziness that happened. So subscribe, turn on those notifications, because if anything else happens, we're going to be making a video about it.